It may be important to set some string restrictions within your particular project for a certain number of strings. To do that, all you need to do is simply right-click at the top here, Manage Columns, and then add your maximum text dimensions. Now you can do text and pixels, and I'll show you pixels very shortly. But with text, we'll move that column over, and then move this up here. So here we have our maximum text here. So what we'll do is we'll say that each of these strings here are 12. Now what I can do is I can select that, Control C, I can multi-select a number of these, Control V, and paste those into there. And then once I save those out, we'll then see that we have a 12 maximum text restriction here. So if I then select a particular string, you'll then see at the bottom here that we have our text length here is 12 of 12, which is great. If, however, I enter more characters, then you'll see that we're now at 16 of 12 here. So let's bring that back down to 12. Now visually, you can actually represent this by adding some more columns, where you can actually add a constraint bar as well. Again, I'll move this further up here and OK that. So you can now see that you get lots of green elements here to show that it's all good. If again I add in here, you can then see that updates real time, so you get a real kind of instant visual. Now here I've chosen to save out, so I can then select whether or not I want to retranslate this string. So I'll say yes, I do, and apply that, and so that they'll send that out for retranslation. So you'll see that this is now changed from green, as it was before, into yellow, so it's instantly visible to the translators. Now what I'll do is show you how to then set it on a pixel width. So what we'll do here is first we'll change this a little bit, so we'll take this back to acceleration. I won't send it for another retranslation, and then change these back to not featuring any max text length, and move these down here. I'm doing this by holding down Shift, and then paste that into there and save those out. So what I can do here is I can create a new font. This is the font that I will then use to then set the pixel width restriction. So I'll call this one big, and default character width I'll say is 30. Character spacing is 5, and character height is 30 as well. Then there may be specific characters that fall slightly outside this, so there might be a fat W, our old friend, and then what we'll do is then we'll say that that one is actually 50, and then we can add that to the list, and for instance any other ones as well, like capital M for example, and we'll say that one's slightly smaller, it's 45, add that as well. You can actually import a text file with those particular definitions within this particular interface here. So if I just cancel that for now, so we've got our definitions and we click OK, we now have a font called big listed here. Now if we go back to our strings, we can then say, right, okay, manage columns, right click up there, and then what we'll do is we'll add max pixels, move that over, and then what we'll do is we'll add font as well. So now we have font and max pixels, and we'll move these up here, and we'll get rid of max text. So we've got max pixels and fonts, I'll just move that down a little more. And then OK. So we now have font and max pixels displayed here. So what we can do is say, right, well, these particular ones here have the big font. I can then, again, multi-select and paste those in. So they all use the big font. And what I'll do is then set the actual maximum pixels for each of these. So I'll say that these are 300. And then you'll instantly see here that pixel-wise, acceleration goes well over. I can then select this and then paste that into these ones here. So they're all big font, maximum pixel 300, and you can see we have 4 issues here. And then save those out, and then instantly you get the visual example here. Now what you can do is you can actually see that on a per language as well. So we can include German, Italian, French, and Spanish. Move those over. But then grab those and move those up the list and put them next to the UK constraints. OK that. And as I move across, you can see there's a number of problems by setting this per pixel. And now these have to be amended within the translations.